She posted a few photos, wrote just a handful of words, and somehow the internet completely lost it. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos' daughter just gave fans an update so pure, so genuinely emotional that people couldn't stop sharing it. And honestly, once you hear what she said, you'll understand exactly why. This is the story of Lola Consuelos, a young woman finding her footing in the world, falling into what looks like the most beautiful chapter of her life, and being brave enough to share it with all of us. Stay with me, because this one is truly heartwarming from start to finish. Now, if you followed Live with Kelly and Mark for any length of time, you already know that Kelly Ripa and her husband Mark Consuelos are one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. Married since 1996, they've built something rare in this industry. A family that feels real, grounded, and deeply connected, even while living very much in the public eye. Together, they have 3 children. There's Michael, their eldest, now 29, who has carved out a path as a television producer. There's Joaquin, 23, who is making serious waves as an actor. More on him in just a moment. And then there's Lola, now 25 years old, who has always had a certain magnetic quality about her. A singer-songwriter with her mother's charisma and her father's intensity, Lola has grown up in front of the cameras in the best possible way. But lately, it's her personal life that has captured everyone's attention. And the update she just shared with the world? It's the kind of thing that reminds you why we love following these families in the first place. To understand why this moment matters so much, you have to understand where Lola has been. She spent her college years at New York University, NYU, one of the most prestigious art schools in the country. And it was there in those hallways and lecture rooms and late-night study sessions that something quietly extraordinary began to unfold. Around 2022, followers of Lola's Instagram started noticing someone new appearing in her photos. A young man, handsome, reserved, always smiling beside her. His name was Cassius Kidston. And from the very beginning, there was something about the way Lola looked at him that told you this was different. The two officially went public with their relationship in 2023, the same year Lola graduated from NYU, a milestone in itself for a young woman who had juggled public attention alongside the very real, very demanding work of getting a degree. But Cassius was there through all of it, steady and present. Now, who exactly is Cassius Kidston? Well, he comes from a fascinating background. His father, Simon Kidston, is the founder of Kidston Motor Cars, a name that carries serious weight in the world of classic automobile collecting and motorsport. But Cassius himself has been making his own mark, working as a sports talent sales assistant at Creative Arts Agency in London, one of the most powerful talent agencies in the entertainment industry. 2 young people, both ambitious, both with roots in creative and entertainment-adjacent worlds. It made sense. And apparently, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos agreed, because the 2 families have already met. That's right. The parents have connected. And if you know anything about how protective Kelly and Mark are of their kids, that means something. But here's where the story takes that extra beautiful turn that sent the internet into an absolute spiral of joy. Lola recently celebrated her birthday, and Cassius, her boyfriend, her partner, what she now openly calls the best person in her life, made sure it was a day she would never forget. She took to Instagram and shared a series of photos that captured the whole magical evening. There was a birthday dinner, glowing and intimate. There were gifts, clearly chosen with care and attention. And then there were the flowers, a huge, gorgeous bunch of them, the kind that takes your breath away the moment you see them. But it wasn't even the flowers that got people talking. It was what Lola wrote in her caption. 5 simple sentences that somehow said everything. She wrote, and I want to read this carefully because it really is something. She wrote, sushi, sake, painting, and my favorite person ever was the best birthday I could cry. That's it. That's the whole post. And yet, somehow, those words cut straight through everything and landed directly in the heart. The best birthday she could cry. Not tears of sadness. Tears of pure, overwhelming, grateful happiness. Fans immediately started reacting. Comments poured in. People called Lola and Cassius rock stars. Others simply wrote, "So beautiful." And more than a few people admitted they teared up themselves just reading those words, just seeing those photos, just witnessing a young woman completely, utterly in love with her life and the person she's sharing it with. The response from fans wasn't just warm. It was enormous. For a lot of people who have watched Lola grow up on the sidelines of Live with Kelly and Mark, seeing her step into this chapter, confident, joyful, deeply connected, felt like something personal. Like watching a younger sibling or a niece finally come into her own. Celebrity news outlets picked it up almost immediately. Hello Magazine, Yahoo Entertainment, and a whole wave of pop culture sites ran with the story, and it's not hard to understand why. In a media landscape that often chases drama and conflict, a story this simple and this genuinely sweet is almost revolutionary. A 25-year-old woman, daughter of two of television's most recognizable faces, celebrating a birthday dinner with the person she loves, and saying, without any filter or performance, that she could cry because of how happy she is. There's something almost radical about that kind of honesty in 2026. And then there's the family dimension of all of this, because with the Consuelos Ripa family, you simply cannot separate the personal from the public. Kelly Ripa has never been shy about how much her children mean to her. She talks about them on Live with Kelly and Mark with the same openness and warmth that she brings to everything else. She shared milestones, celebrated graduations, talked about the emotional weight of watching her children become adults. And Mark, tough on screen, tender at home, has always been the same way. This is a couple who genuinely raised their kids to know what love looks like, what commitment looks like, and it shows. Even as Lola has been flourishing, the rest of the Consuelos family has been making headlines of their own. Joaquin, the youngest, recently made his Broadway debut in the acclaimed production of Death of a Salesman, the very same production where Mark Consuelos also made his own Broadway debut, just days after his son. Father and son, on Broadway in the same season. And Joaquin took it a step further by attending the 79th Tony Awards as a cast member when the production became the night's biggest winner. The Consuelos Ripa family is not just surviving the spotlight. They are thriving inside it, each of them in their own distinct, beautiful way. But let's come back to Lola for a moment, because there's something that I think deserves to be said directly. Growing up with famous parents is not easy. It comes with enormous privilege, yes, but it also comes with a level of scrutiny that most of us will never experience. Every photo, every choice, every relationship is potentially subject to public comment. And yet Lola has handled all of it with a grace and authenticity that feels entirely her own. She didn't perform this birthday post for the internet. She didn't stage it. She just shared it. Shared the sushi and the sake and the painting and the flowers. Shared the feeling of being seen and celebrated by someone who clearly adores her. And in doing so, she gave all of us something we didn't know we needed. A reminder that joy, real joy, is always worth sharing. The fact that she called Cassius her favorite person ever, with all those extra R's that somehow make it even sweeter, tells you everything about where she is emotionally. She's not guarded. She's not performing. She is a 25-year-old woman who is simply, completely, beautifully happy. And if you've been following this family for any length of time, that's not just nice to see. It's everything. Now, in the larger world of celebrity news and pop culture storytelling, moments like this matter more than people sometimes realize. Live with Kelly and Mark is built, at its core, on authenticity. Kelly and Mark have always brought their real lives, their real relationship, their real family dynamics into that studio. And the audience has rewarded that authenticity with loyalty. The show remains one of daytime television's most consistent performers year after year. When Lola shares a moment like this, when Michael lands a producing credit, when Joaquin steps onto a Broadway stage, it doesn't just make headlines. It reinforces something that the audience of Live with Kelly and Mark has believed for decades, that Kelly and Mark are the real deal. That what you see on screen is an extension of who they actually are, and that their family is the truest expression of everything they've built together. In a celebrity landscape where authenticity is increasingly rare and increasingly valuable, the Consuelos Ripa family continues to be a masterclass in how to do it right. There's a version of this story that's just a birthday post. A few photos, a sweet caption, a handful of comments. But there's also a version of this story that's about something bigger. About what it looks like when love is modeled well. When two parents show their children, through 30 years of commitment and care, that partnership can be extraordinary. And then those children go out into the world and find that for themselves. Lola Consuelos found her best person ever. And she said so fully, openly, tearfully to anyone who wanted to listen. That's not just a celebrity update. That's a little piece of something real. And in this world, that's worth every second of your time. So I want to hear from you. Did Lola's birthday post make you smile? Are you a fan of how openly the Consuelos Ripa family shares their lives with the world? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this celebrity update, make sure you subscribe for more entertainment news and Hollywood stories. We're here every week bringing you the moments that actually matter. See you in the next one.